Microsoft Teams. It is also being live streamed. Today we are considering objections from the police and environmental health to a proposed 10 at Flat C 220 Westbourne Park Road. My name is Councillor Marie-Therese Rossi and I will be chairing the meeting, and I declare I have no declarations to make. I'm joined by Councillors Doris Schmetterling and Linda Wade. Councillors, can you please introduce yourselves and confirm whether or not you have any declarations to make? Councillor Wade? Councillor Schmetterling?
All right, Linda Wade, Earls Court Ward Councillor. I have no declarations to make.
Councillor
Doris
Schmetterling?
Schmetterling, Councillor for Pembridge Ward, north of Nottingham Gate, sort of just the outskirts of the carnival footprint. And I have no declaration of interest to make.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Schmetterling. We are also joined by Paul Phelan from the Council's licensing team, our legal officer, Lindsay Le Mesurier, and our committee officers, Holly Weaver, Danielle Hell, and Emily Beard. The quorum for this committee is 2, as there's always a possibility that I will lose my connection. I am not nominating Councillor Schmetterling to be appointed as a substitute chair. Councillor Wade, can you please confirm that you second this nomination?
I second the nomination.
I confirm that Councillor Schmetterling has been appointed substitute chair. Thank you, colleagues. Before we start, there are a few ground rules. Please keep your microphones on mute until you are invited to speak. Please make sure your mobile phones are off, and please do not use the Microsoft chat function as it is not monitored. Holly, can you please run through the lists of persons wishing to speak today? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. We've had confirmation from the premises user that whilst they're aware of the hearing, they will not be attending today. And on behalf of the responsible authorities, we have Matt McIlroy from RBKC's Noise and Nuisance team objecting to the 10. And we also have PC Donna Wilcox from the Metropolitan Police who's objecting to the 10, and she's supported by Lorraine Henry, who is her counsel, and that's everyone we're expecting. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. The procedure of the meeting has been circulated with the papers. Firstly, the licensing officer, Mr. Phelan, will give a brief outline for the 10. Mr. Phelan, are you there?
Hi, good afternoon, Chair. I'm here.
I will then ask the police's legal advisor, Lorraine Henry, to submit his objection. He will have up to 10 minutes. He is also joined by PC Donna Wilcox, who may be able to answer questions asked by the committee. Thank you. Questions may then be asked of the police by the committee, the premises user, and our legal officer. I will then ask Environmental Health, Mr. Matt McIlroy, to present his objections. He will have up to a maximum of 10 minutes to do so. I'm just moving on. After questions from the committee, I will then ask if our legal officer has any questions, and then I will ask governance if there are any issues that they would wish to bring up. And there will be no summing up. The committee will then adjourn for 10 minutes to make our decision. We will reconvene to verbally announce the decision today, and it will be then confirmed in writing within 5 working days. The full reasoned decision will be issued as soon as possible thereafter. I would like to remind everyone that the committee has read the papers, so there is no need to repeat that information, but you can draw our attention to certain points and pages. Thank you. Mr. Phelan, let's get going.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. Miss McLean Fawn has submitted a temporary event notice for a temporary licence board event to be held on Sunday the 24th and Monday the 25th of August 2025 between the hours of midday and 7 p.m. each day. The notice proposes sales of alcohol on and off the premises from the front garden of Flat C, 220 Westbourne Park Road. A copy of the temporary event notice and supporting documentation can be found at Appendix A of today's report, Chair. This notification has attracted an objection from PC Mark Perry of the Metropolitan Police on the grounds of prevention of crime and disorder and public safety. A summary of his representation is provided on pages 5 to 6 of the report, with the full objection attached at Appendix B. Additionally, Chair, Mr. Philip Richardson, a Principal Environmental Health Officer within Noise and Nuisance, has objected on the grounds of public safety. A summary of his representation is included on page 7 of the report, with the full objection attached at Appendix C. Finally, Chair, I can confirm that there have been no additional documents circulated, and that effectively concludes a summary of this notification. I'll leave it there for now. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Phelan. So now for the police's objections. Mr. Horain Henry, if you would like to speak, you have up to 10 minutes. You're on mute.
Apologies, Chair. Thank you very much, Chair. As you heard, the police are objecting on the grounds of crime and disorder and public safety. Just going through the application itself, a couple of key points to note, Chair. The applicant hasn't submitted a risk assessment. There's no events management plan. And in terms of security itself, they've said in their application on page 13, I believe it is, no security SIA or otherwise will be provided. In terms of the trading that they will be doing, and there's a image on what I believe is page 14, showing where they believe people will be queuing. Looking at that image, it's clear where the stall will be, and if the queue are literally on the where the line appears to be, to the right of that line, you can just about see a bus stop. So the effectively the roadway or the track there between the bus stop and where the people will be queuing, it effectively becomes extremely narrow. Again, creating a sort of added risk, if you like, of a bottleneck situation, obviously going to the public safety point. There's no evidence from the applicant detailing how they would mitigate, of course, the risk that would create in case, for example, there will be a sort of a crowd surge from be it music or members of the public going by. The other thing to note, Chair, is that this is a private residence, and the council doesn't appear to have a policy of, at least they don't have a policy of effectively allowing street trading activity of this kind on the public roadway. And so hearing those matters and taking into account, Chair, the council's own policy, which is 25.5, which invites the applicant to effectively engage with the council and the police and demonstrate how the activities they're proposing to undertake oppose the objectives, as well as paragraph 8.43 of the 182 guidance. I ask you to reject the application on the basis that the application in its entirety is insufficient and indeed creates a great risk of to public safety.
Is that the end of your submission? Yes.
Yes, Chair. Thank you.
I do have a question. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to answer it, or maybe PC Donna Wilcox can answer. But we are told that this is a very busy part of the carnival. So my question is, how busy? How does it compare to Ladbroke Grove? I mean, what kind of crowds would we expect on a typical day in Westbourne Park Road?
Chair, I of course will invite the officer to explain further on that, but in simple terms, I expect it to be a fairly sizable amount of people going through there. I would put it in the thousands, of course, but I certainly wouldn't be there. So I'm sure the officer has probably more experience to tell you the numbers in terms of what they'll be seeing and what the risk of, in terms of the proximity from where they're selling alcohol to the bus stop may even create for members of the public.
Okay.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I just wanted to reinforce actually what Council has just said. We are looking at thousands in and around that area. My colleague PC Mark Perry has also put within the representation, there is a sound system that is nearby which will attract a number of people, you know, hundreds and thousands of people in that area. What I did want to just mention to you, purely for transparency, was the photograph within the police objection that PC Perry has put. It refers to the Dizzier generation sound system. Actually, that photograph, it is within Powis Terrace, so it is literally a stone throw away from where the applicant has applied for this 10. But the photograph relates to another sound system. So for just pure transparency, I wanted to highlight that today.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry,
So, Councillor
correct
Wade.
location for Princess Sarah.
Thank you. There are two questions. In some of the representations that you provided, you've given a map which one indicates the locations, but you've also introduced a kind of a color coding of, for example, here you've got orange and what I would describe as kind of an amber color. Can you, and on others it's been red. So is it possible for you to give us some indication of what the color coding represents?
Yes. Yes, so the green ones, Madam Chair, are actually
No, I'm talking about the lines on the roads.
Oh, sorry. So the yellows and the oranges.
Yes.
So yes, so that is within the footprint, and I believe the orange is the parade. I believe you'll have to forgive me because this is what my colleague has done, and I normally have a slightly different map.
All right, because I can see that the blue line defines the area of Carnival, and then in certain streets there is a line created which indicates a kind of a route of some form, but they're color coded. So does the color coding relate to the capacity or the density of the crowd, or what does it refer to?
I'm going to be completely honest, I am not aware because my colleague Mark Perry has done this. So it's difficult for me to highlight it for you.
Right, I think your other colleague on the other applications used the same methodology, and I'm just making the suggestion in order to be completely transparent that if you're going to introduce this, you should actually provide some form of color coding so people can understand.
I agree.
All right, so the other issue is that I understand that the methodology, the police approach for this carnival is different, and that they've stated that they're not acting as stewards. So what I haven't seen, given the density of the crowd around the Powis Terrace, is what is do you have insight into the steward management of this location?
Well, my colleagues attend a meeting several times a week with the Notting Hill Carnival Limited. So they would have those figures and they would know who's in and around that area. But I don't have that today. Apologies.
All right, because I mean, I think that you're putting the case, I mean, that you got a bus stop, which I understand it's not clear as to whether or not this will be street trading because it's not clear whether clients will come onto the forecourt of the house to get to acquire the alcohol, or whether it's going to be given over the fence. It's just, it would have been interesting to have had that type of data to make an
Yeah.
assessment.
I think the issue that PC Perry had was it does look exposed, and there is the possibility for them to sell over the premises itself. So I think that's, as you can see where it's got Q here with the sort of red arrow, it suggests that, you know, that there could be availability to you know, charge over the wall, which is why I think they were concerned about street trade. And unfortunately, the applicant, when they have submitted it, unlike a lot of applicants, they have actually provided quite a detailed risk assessment. They've also, I mean, I've dealt with several whereby they have shut off. So when they've been, you know, operating within this sort of parameters, they've actually shut off the front area so that there is no way that anybody can sell into the street. Unfortunately, the applicant has not provided us with any information as to how that's going to stop.
All right, thank you very much.
No problem.
Councillor Schmetterling.
Yeah, there's not a lot because I mean, applicants not here, but of course, asking of the police. I was just interested that on this, in this document, in this response to the notice,
Yeah.
It talks about 1 million visitors, which is sort of a number that I have in my head usually. But in previous ones, the other day, the police said 2 million is the standard. I guess no one really knows, but I'm just wondering what you think is more realistic.
Yeah, I think certainly 2 million is certainly what has been documented previously. So I think that is certainly the figure that we believe will be there. As you can appreciate, you know, year on year, excuse me, year on year, this is growing, and of course that is why this year it's been well documented, and I'm sure my other colleagues have highlighted this in previous hearings. You know, we are very, very concerned about public safety, more so this year than ever before. So.
Would you like to maybe expand a bit and say why, or is that police info?
Well, I think, I mean, the Commissioner and our Commander, Mr. Twist, has, you know, publicly highlighted this, you know, that we have had in the past issues with overcrowding in areas, and during our or during this report, it talks about the concerns about pinch point areas, and we really are very, very worried that more and more people are going to come to the area.
Thanks. Finally, you it says in the page 19. Gosh, let me just make sure who said that. Bear with me. 19 on page. Ah, yes, it is police document. On page 19, it mentions 100 temporary event notices last year. Do you have any idea how many have been allowed so far and how many are still to be looked at? Any idea? Or maybe like...
Yeah, no, that's fine. I can tell you that this year, as I say, we treat each application on its own merits. And I can say that over 40 applications that have been submitted to police have actually gone through, if that helps. You are right. There is, I think, actually off the top of my head, I thought it was about 130 last year, temporary event notices. And I think we're maybe just on point to reach that this year. That, as you can appreciate, we still have some late 10s now coming in. So again, I can't give you the exact figure, but I can tell you that we have approximately 40 temporary event notices that have come through to police, which have been, you know, we haven't objected to.
Okay, I don't know whether this, because it's quite late in the day, whether this is typical, say 40 or so at this time of the, you know, of this time of the month, you know, whatever it's
Yeah.
2 weeks ahead of the carnival. You know, that kind of
Yeah.
less. Yeah, 2 weeks ahead of the carnival. Is this typical? Do you think?
Well,
more?
we do. Yeah, we tend to have quite a few late 10s coming in. I don't know if this year is going to be different because the Metropolitan Police have objected to a number of 10s this year. I don't know if people have heard that we're objecting to more than we have previously. So I don't know if that's going to impact, but certainly we are expecting and you know, quite a few more late 10s this
Right.
week.
No, we are aware of the increased objection rate. Anyway, thank you very much.
No problem.
Linda, do you have any more questions?
No, I don't.
Okay, Lindsay, our legal
No
officer.
No questions from me. Thank you, Chair.
No questions. Okay, so we will go now to the environmental health subjection, Mr. McIlroy.
Chair,
please
sorry, Chair, to interject. Has the police been given a chance to ask any questions?
Oh,
Oh, sorry, beg your pardon. It's the police. Beg your pardon. Sorry, I saw Mr. Henry's hand up earlier. That's confused me. Beg your pardon.
Mr. Henry, was there any comment that you wanted to make that I didn't pick up on? You're on mute.
Sorry. Yes, Chair. Thank you. The only point I wanted to address was Mrs. Wade's point about the color coding, which in some ways I agree with, but I thought it may assist you to point out that this is the road that has the music sign, which I think is the yellow one on the map shown earlier, is effectively pointing out that the sound system is going to be down here where this white car is, and this is the area where we're well, just about here is the area that where the applicant is applying, and saying that and in their application on page 14 at the top, they're quite clear in saying tender at the entrance of the front garden, effectively pointing out that that's exactly what will be happening there, contrary to, of course, the counter policy for allowing street trading. I just thought I'll assist you by pointing that out, but thank you very much, Chair.
Okay, so we'll now go to Mr. McIlroy, if you would like to make your submission.
Yeah, I'll keep it brief. Don't have a huge amount to add to our representation, but the application location is in close proximity to an authorised sound system, making this a busy part of the carnival footprint. The potential for queues on the public highway makes this a potential issue for crowd safety and crowd management. An event management plan and risk assessment has not been submitted, and such there is insufficient detail to be confident in the safety management of the location and what measures would be taken if any issues were to arise. It's unclear if people will be leaving the public highway and entering the garden to purchase drinks or served on the public highway over the wall, and as such, a street trading licence may also be required subject to the actual operation. And this is the reason why we asked the committee to refuse the tent.
Thank you. I have no questions to ask. Councillor Schmetterling?
You're on mute.
You're
again.
on mute, Dorry.
Thank you. The notice giver is not here, so I have some questions for her, and I thought we all do, but we can't help, so that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, Councillor Wade?
No, I've got no further questions. Thank you.
Okay, our legal officer, Lindsay Le Mesurier.
No questions, Chair.
So then we move on, I think, to, do you have any questions generally that you would like to put at this stage?
No,
Lindsay?
no further questions. Thank you.
Do our licensing officers have anything to add?
Nothing to add. Thank you, Chair.
Governance officers?
Nothing from us. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Okay, thank you. So we have reached the end of this part of the meeting, and we now have all the information we need, and we will retire to make our decision in private. We will come back at about 3:20, I think, to give you the decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just double check? Donna, are you still there?
I am.
Perfect, thank you. Matt, are you still on the call?
Yeah, still here.
Thank you. Paul, are you
Okay.
still there?
So here,
Are we all here, Holly?
Perfect. And the committee are back. So when you're ready, Madam Chairman, I'll pass it over to you to announce the decision.
Okay, so I will now read out the decision which we have reached. This is for a temporary event notice for Flat C, 220 Westbourne Park Road, London, West 11. The committee has considered objections from the police and the environmental health to a temporary event notice which has been given by Miss McLean Thorne for the sale by retail of alcohol on and off the premises at the above address on Sunday the 24th of August and Monday the 25th of August between the hours of midday and 7 p.m. for a maximum number of 15 people at any one time. The committee has considered the papers and submissions made by the parties, both orally and in writing. In reaching its decision, the committee has had regard to the relevant legislation, the Secretary of State's guidance, and the authority's statement of licensing policy. In summary, the committee decided, after taking into account all the individual circumstances of the case and the prevention of crime and disorder, prevention of public nuisance, and public safety licensing objectives, to issue a counter notice under Section 105 of the Licensing Act 2003 for the event. This notice means permission for the licensable activities requested in the 10 has not been approved. The committee decided that allowing the 10 would in this instance undermine the prevention of crime and disorder, the prevention of public nuisance, and the prevention of public safety licensing objectives, and it determined to issue a counter notice under Section 105 of the Licensing Act 2003. A copy of the reasoned decision will be provided without undue delay. If the premises user would like to appeal against this decision, such an appeal must be made to the Magistrates' Court within 21 days from the date of notification of the full decision, but in any event, no later than 5 working days before the start of the proposed temporary event. So that is the end of the meeting. Thank everyone for attending. Thank you to the police representatives and the committee and governance team and environment and our solicitor, Lindsay Lemazurier.
Thank you, Chair,
And
and
also-
thank you to the panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you from licensing as well. Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
Goodbye.
Have a good day.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.